Hi, everybody. I'm going to give you a few minutes to let everybody connect to audio. Welcome back. I hope your last sessions were great with both Helen and myself. I know on our end, it was really great to just have some time to chat with everybody and catch up and share stories and kind of just be there. So welcome back. We are in our final stretch of Summit. Makes me sad because I'd rather hang out with you guys all day long. My kids would probably kill me though. This session is how to fight back. So I'm excited because I get to dive in on all the ways that you guys can be a part of the CDCN, that you guys can fight back, that you can do everything Castleman's. And then we are going to have a fun game with Johnson leading the charge there, which will be awesome. I am also happy that we're all on camera. For the actual presentation part, if everybody stays on camera is great. Just mute yourself so that there's no background noise. And then not sure if there'll be questions that you guys have for this session, but if there are, just you guys can type them into the chat, or you can, we'll try unmuting one at a time, and you guys can ask David and myself or any member of the team questions that you guys have. And then we'll go to our fun Warrior Awards and Warrior Flex Award, and then David and I can kind of close out the day and bid everybody farewell for now, not forever, just for now. And yeah, so give me a second. I'm going to share screen. David, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to chime in before I dive in.
And nothing else to add. Just always love seeing everyone's faces. It's nice to have the cameras on so we can see one another. And yeah, just excited to go through this really important step. We talked at the very beginning of the summit about the trajectory from you might have Castleman disease to getting diagnosed with Castleman disease to seeing an expert for Castleman's, beginning to get treatment, coping with your Castleman disease. And then we really consider kind of that next step to be fighting back against Castleman disease. And of course, you're fighting Castleman disease that whole time, but it's the idea of collectively fighting and joining together with other patients, whether it's through supporting one another on social media or joining these events, coming in person to these events, contributing blood samples, joining the registry. These are all ways that we fight back. And of course, many of you all have started fighting back from the day that you're diagnosed, and you're giving samples and sharing data and reaching out. But we do hope that this is kind of it's helpful to organize the summit in terms of the trajectory that we all go on.
Wonderful. I agree. Share screen real quick, and then we're going to dive into this. So like I said before, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. It's actually how I got involved. Like I said, I'm a fixer. And so I wanted to dive in and do what I could to try to figure this out. So I maybe a little crazily bothered Dr. David and was like, I need to do things. And here I am, seven and a half years later, I'm doing things. And that's, I think, is such an important piece of what all of us can do, and not just patients, loved ones. You know, we're always asking, like, what else can we possibly do? And so this session is really about what can we do. So there's many opportunities. I'm going to highlight them quickly and then deep dive into each one of them as we go through. So obviously, if you're here, you're already a member of our community. So that's the first step. Become a member of the community. You get that diagnosis, you find the CDCN, and then you join our community. From there, like we mentioned last year, we launched that new platform, CDCN Connect. It does not take the place of social media and Facebook. I know we have such amazing support groups there, but it is a really great place where we launched our All In movement, where you guys are able to contribute research ideas. It's also a great place to just ask those questions. We do, as a team, moderate that, so we're able to more quickly get back to you with answers answers to your questions about Castleman disease. We also, our physicians are on it, not on your side, but they have their own side where they're able to connect with each other, provide clinical recommendations to each other so that they can better help and support you guys. So it's just a really great platform. If you haven't already joined, I would recommend doing that. Donating funds or fundraising. So we have so many amazing people on our team who hold amazing fundraisers throughout the years. It's literally the way that we fund our research. Obviously not based solely off of you guys. You know, we have donors who donate, we have grants, but fundraising in general is how we fund our research. So it's a huge, massive, important piece of how we continue to push things forward. So whether it's you donating yourself, it's you holding a fundraiser, great way to fight back. Share Chasing My Cure. We've talked about this over the last 2 years. Obviously, we're all super proud of David and his book and his story. I know he's mentioned this and I've mentioned this before. It is his book, but it's the story about everybody. Everybody is experiencing this thing. It was so wonderful to see it put into words, how we can all turn our hope into action. I know many of us have read it. We probably all have copies or multiple copies, but share it with your networks, your friends, your families. As you guys meet more people, share it with those people. It's just such a great story. It's super powerful. And it also, one of the reasons why, I mean, my family all loves David anyway, but one of the reasons why my family, I pushed them to want to read it is it's really eye-opening to be able to see what this journey is like. Yes, they hear it from you, but really to be able to read it on paper on what this looks like, what it is, how you power through it, how you turn hope into action. It just really helped, I guess, allow them to have a better understanding of this journey. So share it with your networks. It's super important. Big one, enroll in our Accelerate registry. So we have probably driven this home a lot over the last 2 days. Like I've said 100 times now, we learn from you. You have in you what nobody else has. Any other patient, you're all very, very different. So many of you have enrolled in our Accelerate registry. If you have not, it's 15 to 20 minutes of your time, and then our team takes it from there. Our team is here to help and support you. We will absolutely walk you through everything that you need to help make this happen. If you started enrollment and couldn't finish it, that's okay, but step on in and get that done. It will allow us, again, to learn from you and to drive our research forward. And like it's sharing your data with the CDC and donating samples. We talked a little bit about it. Sometime there's like a little fear on like what the heck that is, and having to go get blood drawn. We're not saying go get blood drawn every week, every month. It's at your next appointment. It is if you are newly diagnosed, if you're in the hospital, if you're in remission, donate those samples. We make it as seamless and easy as possible. We will send you everything you need. We will help make sure that you have what you need to get it back to us. Again, it's another great way that we can learn from you and your battle. And also participating in our newly refreshed Warrior program, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, Patient Summit, which you guys obviously are all doing. So that's awesome. An event. So we just had World Castleman Disease Day, where Dr. David, myself, and our team went live the night before. That is just one example of great way to support the community, great way to help raise awareness. That day, or that event alone, we raised over $8,000 between Facebook fundraisers, families donating, and also all of you who purchased World Castleman Disease Day shirts. That raised about $1,100, which is amazing. So those are all small things that we can all do. It's one tiny piece, and if you do all of those things, then you, I'm actually going to highlight. This is, again, same thing. So you're going to join our community. You're going to donate samples to our biobank, join our Accelerate registry. You're going to contribute ideas for research, which we just did through AIM, which was wonderful, donating funds to fund that research. And finally, David mentioned this earlier, our sirolimus clinical trial. All of those pieces are what's going to help us find a cure for Castleman disease patients. And I kind of want to highlight one person. We did highlight Andy at our most recent community update, which I think was World Castleman Disease Day. But the reason why I want to highlight him is, one, all of you who know him, he's wonderful. He is super great with our patients. I met him at a patient summit, and he's just, I personally just love him. I think that he has such a great personality. He's super supportive. He tries to help all of the patients and their family members. Actually, he and another member of our community got to meet each other in the hospital and have a great picture on Facebook together. But the reason why I'm highlighting him is he's done all of the things. He joined our CDCN network. He donated a sample to our Castlebank. He joined Accelerate, our registries, and shared his medical records. He has joined our Warrior program, and he joined CDCN Connect. And obviously not all of us do all of these things, and that's okay. I'm just showing you his path because he started at the beginning, and he's done all of the things that he can to try to help and support not just the CDCN, but himself. All of these pieces, when put together, really help us unlock the missing puzzle pieces. And so just wanted to take a second, kudos to him, but also all of you who have done all of these things. We're really appreciative of you guys. And if you haven't had a chance yet, it would be great for everybody to kind of follow this path and do everything that you guys can to help fight back. And now I'm just going to kind of highlight each of those steps. If you haven't done it yet, you kind of know what it looks like. I'm assuming all of you guys are members because you're here. So if you're here, you've connected with us, you've gotten our emails. But if you are new or a family member joining in, becoming a member of our CDCN community is super important. You just do that on our website. What that does is, one, it actually connects you directly to me. So I get alerted that you've joined and I send you guys a welcome email. It also gives you access to password protected resources on our webpage. That doesn't mean that you can't see these resources if you're not a member. Obviously, we've had many patients reach out to Dr. David or myself directly because you're, frantic in the hospital trying to figure these pieces out. We don't withhold this stuff from you, but it really is a great way to get involved in our community, to get all the things that you need, to have access to every aspect of our website, and then allows you to see what all those next steps are. So I'm highlighting it here for you. So if you're a physician and researcher, you click on that link, patient and loved one, you click there, you join our community, and then you get to do all of the great things. CDCN Connect. So this is kind of the platform that it looks like. We used it for AIM. So many of you contributed research ideas. Fantastic. If you haven't done that yet, community.cdcn.org is the link for it. You can sign up. You can shoot me a message. I'll make sure to add you. Again, not replacing social media, but a really great place where you can ask questions, you can get support, you can communicate with others, you can propose research ideas. And we try to post news and updates and research stuff there as well. So you'll be able to kind of see these updates there. So raising funding for research. Obviously, we just said we cannot move our research forward without these funds. So to donate, it's cdcn.org/donate. Another way to fundraise is join our Warrior program. Historically, in the past, what that meant was you had a fundraising page created for you, and then you could take that fundraising page and share it with your networks on social media. And that was a great way for you to fundraise. We will get to the refresh of that program in a minute, but it still is a great way to fundraise, and you will get a fundraising page out of that. But again, just a really great way for you to be able to do things in your own network. Emailing me is a great way to get started. You'll hear that several times over the next few minutes. And then attending, sponsor, or donating to the CDCN's Quest for a Cure. Over the last, this is our 7th, so the last 5 years, we have done it in person. Last year was virtual. It was a wonderful event. We were able to, be live with our community. We had a great amount of people that attended. We raised the most we've ever raised before. David, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like $280,000 that we raised at Quest. This year, again, it's Thursday, November 11th, 8 p.m. It is going to be virtual again. We will have a great program for everybody. This is also wonderful for you guys because many of you can't travel for Quest. And so this gives you the ability to attend Quest from your living room. I personally would like to have everybody, COVID safe, invite your networks to your house, have a little Quest party where you guys can all tune in together and watch Quest from your own living rooms, but also a great way where you guys can support. I already talked about this, but just chasing the cure. So if you haven't had a copy, please reach out to us. We'll make sure to get you guys one. I'm assuming all of our patients who've been on our summits the past couple of years did receive one, but it's just a great story to share with your networks. And so we just touched on this too, but these 3 pieces come together and really help us figure out what all these missing puzzle pieces are. So if you have not gotten to Accelerate yet, do that. If you have tried siltuximab, tocilizumab, those have failed for you and you feel like you're a good candidate for a sirolimus clinical trial, reach out to our team. We will do all the things we have to do to screen you and hopefully get you in that trial for sirolimus. It is ongoing, enrollment's still happening. So that's a huge piece of this puzzle that's happening. And then donating samples. You got to meet Bridget yesterday. Bridget does everything she possibly can to help you guys. You already know this because we had Johnson and Rosie before. They were amazing in doing this role as well. And so she's kind of taking up the charge and handling that piece for you guys. And then here's the contact information. We have one of our team members can throw it in the chat again, but we have shared this multiple times. All of this information will also go out to you guys at the end of Summit. But we, like David mentioned in his talk about an hour ago, I know it's been a lot of information, a lot of different email addresses, a lot of phone numbers that are shared. If you pick one and reach out to one of them and that person wasn't the right one, that's okay. We will make sure that we get the answers or connect you to whoever it is that needs to help you. And then just wanted to kind of walk through donating to the Biobank. So as you guys know, we've partnered with Quest. Consenting just takes a few minutes. It's mobile friendly. We encourage you to reach out if you have any symptoms, if you're hospitalized, especially if you know that you're going to have a lymph node removed. Over the last probably 2 years, we've started getting a lot more lymph nodes, which has been fantastic. David mentioned before that Dr. Josh Brandstatter, sorry, he gets so excited when lymph node comes in. He gets to dive in and really learn from this stuff. And so if you know that you're going to have a lymph node removed or surgeries coming up, let us know sooner rather than later so that we can make sure all those pieces are moving and we can help you guys. We're really driving it home today with this. So accelerate registry. Enrolling only takes 20 to 30 minutes. I have had a few conversations with some of you guys over the last 2 days, who some of you have started and didn't get a chance to finish. Some of you might have hit a road bump, like you couldn't figure out how to log back in, you couldn't figure out your login information. That's why we're here. So if you hit a road bump, if you can't figure out what you're supposed to do next, if you didn't have all the paperwork you needed when you started doing that, it's okay, pause, that's fine. Make sure to get back in and finish that. It will ask things for like your pathology reports. You'll need to know what hospitals you've been in and that kind of stuff. And so I know sometimes you start it and you're like, oh crap, I don't have all this information. That's okay. But then get back in and do that. Or if you have a question, reach out to us and we will absolutely make sure that we can help you get that done. So now I'm excited to talk about this. I know we've mentioned it a few times over the last couple of community updates. The Warrior program is not going away. It's not changing in the sense of like it's being completely tossed out and starting over. It's just a refresh. And the reason why the refresh is happening is when the Warrior program was first started, it was so powerful and so many people were wanting to be involved. And we really were doing fantastic. We actually, as a Warrior group, were able to fund a whole entire study for $40,000, which was wonderful. Since then, all of our lives have gotten busy. And one of the feedback that I have gotten from everybody is that not everybody has the same strengths. And so we really took a moment, we paused, and as a team tried to figure out how we could listen to what your feedback was and try to refresh this so that it's fitting everybody and not just a small group of people. So I know all of you know this. I wanted to start off with my why. The reason why I dove into this is because of Katie. I think that all of us have a very similar story. David and his wife, Caitlin's also involved. She does a lot of our events and campaigns and stuff. She got involved obviously because of David. I got involved because of Katie. All of our loved ones can say that they're doing things because their loved one is battling this. Katie is the reason why I dove in. I'm a fixer. It's not like me to just sit back and watch somebody else do it. And so the second, literally probably within hours of figuring out what this was, I tried to find out who the heck I could talk to. And that's how I came across Dr. David. And he said, well, we're planning our first ever summit if you're willing to come to California. And I was like, done. And I got on a plane with my 2 kids. Maddie, I think, was still in a car seat. And like a baby car seat. We flew out there and that's where I met him. She is the reason that I do everything I do. Yes, my background is in clinical psychology, but I would do this for the rest of my life if I had to. She makes it very easy to want to do this. And so do all of you. So all of you patients, every time I see you, every time I talk to you guys, it is just a constant reminder of why this is so important. And you guys make it really easy for me to want to get up every day and help you guys. And then she's had quite a go of it, not as bad as many of you, but we all have our journeys. She started very, very small, and today she is almost 10, going on 17, like I said the other day, and doing fantastic. She's also on sirolimus. I would probably say in remission for about 4.5 years. Yes, immunosuppressed, a little bit more susceptible to some things, but just doing fantastic and really makes it easy for me to do this for you guys. I wanted to highlight some of our Castle kids. As many of you know, because we've shared this in the past, the 2 girls in the middle unfortunately passed away from Castleman disease. It is a constant reminder of why we do this. We do everything in our power to help support and advocate for all of you. Unfortunately, not all of our help, support, and treatments work for everybody. And it's just a constant reminder that we need to keep going. We need everybody to join in this fight so that we don't have to lose another patient and we don't have to have patients suffering the way that they are. I highlight these kids mainly because behind all of these children are fierce parents who are advocating like crazy for them. It is a wonderful role, but it's also a hard role to do this. And so every kiddo that you see here has had quite a journey. They're all doing very well in their own rights. Elise and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say Elise. Joey and Corvia, I've talked with his mom the other day. He's doing fantastic. It's just such great to see the triumph of these people and to hear the updates. And on the next slide, I just kind of wanted to highlight that we heard you. We know that not all of you fundraise. We know that not all of you like going to your networks and asking for money from your friends, and that's okay. So the Warrior program in the past was about fundraising and raising awareness. It still is, but there are also many ways to be a Castleman Warrior now. Yes, fundraising, absolutely, but being a patient advocate, what that will look like is our more seasoned patients who have done this, who have been there, who have been supporting on the sidelines on Facebook, that kind of stuff. You can now be in the Warrior program as an advocate, somebody who can be connected with our new patients that are coming in. I will work with all of you. I don't want this program to be Maleva leading everything and telling you guys what to do. We're all going to be in this together on the same level, just in very different aspects of how we want to help. You can be a local ambassador for your area. So on our Warrior call that we had a few weeks ago, we had said, you know, I'm here in Philadelphia, and yes, I'm helping everybody that I possibly can. But if there are people in the Midwest or on the West Coast or down South or in Canada or in other countries who want to stay connected with me and we meet as a team, but then you take those resources that we're sharing and help be an ambassador in your own area, that's another way that you guys can be a part of the Warrior program. This new one, and I love Anya, she'll probably laugh, is our misinformation mythbuster. So one of the things that Anya and myself have been working on is trying to correct all of the wrong information that is out there. So we have a growing list of websites that we have found that you know, say various things like, you know, the death rate is way higher, or there's no options, or it calls Castleman something different than it is, or it lists the wrong treatments, or it doesn't even list the CDCN as a resource. All of you know this because we've had this conversation before. When you Google, you don't always find us, you don't always find the right information. So we want you guys as warriors, if this is where you think your strengths are, we want you to go out and find that information for us. Let us know where that wrong information is. We will then work to try to fix that. We're going to work with those organizations, find those websites, reach out to the people who manage them, and get that information changed. Patient education and awareness ambassador. This is a piece that kind of already existed in our Warrior program, but we just want to grow it. We want to make sure that we're employing you with the right resources, not just telling you to go raise awareness, but giving you the right tools to do that. That will look like pamphlets, flyers, PDF documents, social media images, graphics that you can share, ways that you can then take that information to physicians and people in the networks that are by you. So it's not just going to be great, you continue to raise awareness. It's going to be us helping you have the right tools to make that happen. Another great way is CDCN Connect Ambassador. So right now, obviously, multiple of you have been on it, as have many members of our team. We want you guys to be able to be an ambassador on that, not looking for direction from us, but like facilitating conversation, helping answer those questions. When we do our next all-in movement, being able to be in there driving for those research questions, helping kind of make this piece impactful, finding ways to get more of our patients to interact on there. A lot of you have so many very unique talents, and we just wanted to make sure that we're giving everybody a piece on how to be involved in the Warrior program. And finally, fundraising is still a piece of this. So you want to be a fundraising superstar. She's probably going to laugh at me because I always highlight her. Alice is amazing. Alice has many strengths. Fundraising happens to be one of hers. She does amazing fundraiser every single year. And so that's a piece that I know is her strength. That's a piece that she can continue to do. I also want, if you guys have a specific strength and you want to own that, like I said, this isn't my program, this is your program. So it's not Maleva telling you what to do. If you know you are going to be on the internet looking for misinformation and want to own that piece, fantastic, reach out to me. You guys will become the co-leads of each one of these pieces and work together with myself and the small team of people that you're putting together. So I really was excited about doing this because over the last probably 3 years, we have heard from you guys that you love the Warrior program. You love being able to connect with us on monthly calls, on quarterly calls, but there was something missing because you didn't want to ask for money anymore. And that's okay. So now we've heard you. We've tried to make many different avenues for you to take. And so hopefully after today, I'll be able to send this information out to our current warriors. Also start making some social media posts about it, where we can then figure out how to schedule our first revamped, refreshed warrior phone call with all of you, and then continue to grow this. This isn't something that's going to be stuck like this. We want to continue to expand, to grow, to find the best ways to make all of our programs work. And so we're just really excited to kind of get this back off the ground again. And these are some of our current warriors. I just wanted to highlight them because you have not been forgotten. You have all done so many wonderful things over the last several years to help support our organization, to fundraise. We still want you on our warrior team. We just want to make sure that your voice was heard and that whatever your strong suit is, you have a place to fit into this now. So I'm just highlighting you to personally thank you. The warrior program wouldn't exist if it wasn't for all of you guys here. And it won't continue to exist without all of you guys continuing to do all of the things that you're doing. And I just wanted to highlight one of the most important aspects for me that I've always loved is the ability to connect with other patients and loved ones. So obviously being at the summit, huge way to connect. Hopefully next year we can do it in person, but it's just been so wonderful to be here with all of you guys. And so it's a great way to connect. Joining our newly refreshed warrior program. If you are not in it yet and want to be a part of this now, you can sign up online or you can just shoot me an email. Connecting with all of our patients and loved ones on social media. I've heard from a lot of you that you're always on, you don't necessarily post. That's okay. It sometimes is really great to just read what everybody else is experiencing. It makes you feel connected to know that you're not the only one doing this. And some of our Facebook pages are our main one. That's where we as an organization share updates to all of you. But then we have our support groups. So the International Castleman Disease Organization. Oh, sorry, went too fast. International Castleman Disease Organization, our Castleman Disease Support Group, but we also have an Australia support group on social media. There's a Germany support group on social media. There's the United Kingdom support group on social media. So all of these support groups exist. All of them are a great way for you guys to connect and kind of meet the people that are in your area. And all of them are just really great ways to kind of get the information that you guys are looking for. We are going to go to our virtual game, but I wanted to pause to see if anybody had any questions that you wanted to ask, anything that you kind of wanted to chime in before we get over to the fun piece of the game. And in this piece, you can just unmute. You don't have to type anything in if you wanted to chat, to just say anything.
It looks like there's some comments in the chat, so we could even just speak to some of the comments too. And yeah, if anyone wants to highlight anything, I'll just look through to see if there's any that we haven't hit on. There's a question about the Castleman Warrior program being in Europe. Absolutely, we're thrilled for you to be a part of it. And Mileva, I haven't seen in a while the pages that we used to put together for Castleman Warriors, and so it doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, we can make it a Castleman Warrior page for each of you. I don't think that should be a problem. Let's see. And then we corrected the link. It's actually connect.cdcn.org, not community.cdcn.org.
Yes.
So go to that link. And then there was a question about the amount of vials of blood, and I put in the chat that we tend to get about 2 tablespoons worth of blood, which is about 30 milliliters of blood. That's what we would like to get. And that will not make you any more anemic or any less anemic. That's about the same amount of blood that's drawn for a typical clinical blood draw. So when you think about, your anemia, that's really not concerning. But if anyone is concerned, we'll also take less blood at the end of the day. A blood sample from a Castleman's patient, particularly someone who's in the middle of active disease, can teach a lot about the disease. And so we're happy to work with you directly.
There's some comments about the bonfire shop. So another way you can also support is obviously buy merchandise. There's hats, I believe, sweatshirts and t-shirts. There was a question of how much money of that goes into research. I don't know if David or Mileva, if you want to address that real quick.
Sure. So great question. And it actually is broken down depending upon the item. So some of the more expensive items, I believe, are like the hooded sweatshirts. probably about $12 to $15 from that comes back to research. Something like the coffee mug that is on there, I think it's like $4 that come back to research. When we did our bonfire store, for World Castleman Disease Day, where we were selling some of the shirts that had the design on it, it broke down to about $8 to $11 per item that came back to us, which is honestly fantastic. It's on the higher end that you'll see on stores that give back to the nonprofit organization. And so to me, I always thought it was such an easy thing. We design a shirt, we throw it on there. Which actually gives me a really great idea. If any of you are artists and want to design something that you would like to see on a shirt, send it over to me. I will give it to Bonfire. They will create items for it. We'll throw it onto our store. So if that's your talent, absolutely. It doesn't have to be on a shirt. It can be a mug. It could be, they have baseball caps. I mean, you send us a design and I will make sure it gets up onto Bonfire and have something designed up for you guys. So that's also a great way to contribute and have your design that can be purchased from all of our community, which would be awesome.
There's another comment about a translation of pamphlets into different languages. So maybe if somebody doesn't want to be a representative of that region, but could help with translation. And it also kind of goes back to your comment, Love, about like, if you want to design a region specific t-shirt, that's in French or German or any other languages, that's also an opportunity.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off that real quick. We've had a few patients in Germany and Italy who've reached out, who have their own groups on social media, and they wanted to make sure it was okay that they are taking our information, translating it and sharing it in the native language of those people. Absolutely. So we have a couple of ladies in Germany who connected with me who are taking our diagnostic criteria and that kind of stuff, translating it and making sure that it gets over to everybody in their region. That is absolutely fantastic. And again, like Anya just said, if that's your strength, and you want to make sure that things are being translated into German, Italian, French, like please, by all means, reach out to us and we will work with you to make sure that we can get that done.
And then I saw a question from Nicole. She mentioned she signed up a couple months ago, but didn't receive communication. Nicole, you can either just put this in the chat or bring up just, interested to know what you signed up for, and we can make sure that we get communication to you for whatever it is that you signed up for. And then I see Lena mentioned or asked about a specific question with associations between fibroids and Castleman disease patients. We have not seen a strong association and accelerate between fibroids and Castleman disease. Of course, fibroids are very common in the healthy population, so or in the non-Castleman disease population. So I would suspect that they're also common in the Castleman's population, but we have not. I have not seen any links as of yet.
And Nicole, great. Yeah, just shoot me an email. I just saw your message. I don't think that I got anything that came through, but if anybody on this call feels like you had signed up for something and did not get a response, shoot me a message. I will directly address that for you guys. And then I saw Megan, you commented, are there any groups for children to connect? It's actually a question that we get more frequently now that we have a growing pediatric group of people who are involved. Not yet, but that doesn't mean that it can't happen. Because some of our pediatric kiddos are a lot younger, it would be hard for them to just kind of facilitate their own group. But one of the things that we had thought of is possibly having we do like our community updates where our whole community can come on, maybe like a pediatric call where some of these kids can just get on and kind of communicate with each other. We have some older pediatric kiddos who are, 16, 17, 18, maybe finding just the right amount of people who can kind of help get that going and facilitate that. So we hear you guys. It is something that's on my radar, just trying to figure out the best way to make that work because there are definitely a lot of kids who I think would really enjoy connecting with each other. I think we got all the questions. Fantastic. Okay, great. So we are I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We're going to kick it over to Johnson, who I don't know if he loves this, but I personally I think he should have been a game show host because he is so fantastic in doing this and gets all of the excitement going. And so I'm excited to kick it over to him. This is to test your knowledge. So answer fast, answer correctly, and be competitive.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mileva. So we're going to play a Kahoot game and we're going to do a rapid fire game today. So we'll have 10 questions that we're going to answer. As Mileva said, the faster you answer it, the more points you get. And there'll be a little scoreboard. There'll be lots of fun. All the questions are pulled from the things that we talked about during the summit. So you should have all the answers, and it's a good way just to review and have that response there. There is a prize at the end of it. So if you are one of our top 3, is that correct, Maleva? One of our top 3
Yes.
scorers, you can email Maleva and we'll get you something off our bonfire store. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly. That way we can start going. All right. So hopefully everyone can see my screen. And if all of you can go to this link up top,
we can't yet see it.
www.kahoot.it.
Now we can see it.
Oh no, okay.
Now we can see it.
Now you can see it, perfect. www.kahoot.it. On your cell phone, on your computer, any one of these devices, you'll be able to get in. You have our pin right here, 9380477. We'll give you a moment or so to log in. You can choose a name for yourself, and that way you can monitor your scoreboard and things like that. So we should be able to get in. Kyla right off the bat coming through. We have Kyla, we have Giovanna. Y'all are coming in way too fast for me to say all of your names, but we're gonna try. It's gonna be great. Fantastic. I also decided to spare you all the very catchy Kahoot music that comes up as well, because we played it like 20 minutes later, it'll just be stuck in your head for the rest of the day. So we've taken mercy on you in this regard. Warrior 1, come through.
I will also say, while we're waiting for everybody to come in, this is a great way to, if you don't know the answers, that's okay. And if you get it wrong, that's even better, because that is how you're going to learn the right answer. If it comes up and you're like, oh, you didn't get the correct answer, you'll learn knowledge, which is fantastic. It's a great way to kind of learn a little bit more about this.
Exactly. And if we see a question that a lot of people have gotten wrong, we'll talk about it a little bit. And we'll be able to have that learning experience for everyone. Perfect. See, we got 28 people in our room. Very nice, very nice. Let's see how many participants we have. We're about halfway through. There we go. I appreciate the heart for Katie coming through with those emojis. We got a Tinkerbell, a Warrior Canada. Tinkerbell just makes me think of being in Disneyland, where they have Tinkerbell fly down from the Cinderella's castle. So hopefully we'll come through again soon. All right, I think we'll give just a minute more so that we can get up to around 40, and then we'll start. The nice thing too is that if you're still loading, even if we get to the first question, you'll still be able to jump in whenever possible. Oh, we jumped down just a little bit. Yeah, I have a question.
Where do we go to find the pin on Kahoot? Like to type
so if
in
you
the
go
pin?
to www.kahoot.it, it should bring up a box that asks you for the pin number. And that pin number brings you specifically to our game.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So it's not the Kahoot website as a whole, kahoot.it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I see Smiley came back with an upside down smiley, appropriate. All right. I think we'll start up now. You guys feel free to continue jumping in. The pin will be on the top, and I believe someone put it in the chat too. So we should be good to go. If my computer likes me. Oh no, there we go. Pastry Summit 2021. All right, so this is one of our quiz questions. In the US, Castleman disease is it red, as common as ALS, blue, extremely rare, gold, as common as breast cancer, or green, as common as influenza? I forget, Gary had a specific color. for the gold color, and I forget it already. But
Brilliant.
brilliant, is that it?
Marillion.
Brilliant.
M-A-I-L-L.
Brilliant. That's right. We were trying to figure that out 2 days ago and we could not remember.
We tried very hard. But yeah, so 24 of you got it completely correct. In the US, Castleman disease is as common as ALS. And so 24 of you, right answer, come through. We're gonna keep on going. You'll have our scoreboard here that'll screen around. Patient G coming in right up top with 963 points. Very nice. There's also a band, right, Gary, called Marillion? I think we played that music in the meantime too. So question 2, what are the subtypes of Castleman disease? This is a select all that applies, so make sure to select all your answers and then press submit. Is non-Hodgkin, unicentric Castleman disease, idiopathic, HHV8 negative multicentric, and HHV8 positive multicentric. I forgot to mention at the very beginning, there are little photo clues that are coming up. So if you're not quite sure, hopefully the photo clue will give you, in some cases, the answer, but in other cases, a nice little hint. So exactly. So the 3 subtypes of Castleman disease that we talk about are blue unicentric, our Marillion idiopathic multicentric Castleman disease. So these are HHV8 negative patients. And then in our green are HHV8 positive multicentric Castleman disease. IMCD is also split up into a couple other subtypes, but these are 3 main categories that we work with. All right, patient G has been knocked down. Ryan coming through, a big jump to 3,672 points. Chase J coming through, up 12 places, doing great. Beautiful. Let's jump on to question 3. This is also a multi-select question. Which of the following lab markers are important to monitor in patients with Castleman disease? So this one, select all that apply. You can select 1, select 4, make sure to press submit. Red is our inflammation markers, so that's C-reactive protein or ESR. Blue, hemoglobin A1C. Marillion are liver function tests, and green are our platelet levels. Our image has just some blood being taken. We do not take that much blood from all of you. Like David said, we're taking about 30 mils, which is about the size of a regular blood draw. Perfect. So yeah, so we have some spread here in terms of the following lab markers that we monitor. Most of y'all got the red, which is our inflammation markers. So CRP, ESR, those are 2 inflammation markers. Let's go with the correct answers first. In our Marillion, we have our liver function tests. So these are things like your ALTs and things like that, you'll see. And then our green is our platelet levels. And we monitor platelet levels for most of our patients. For TAFRO, you have to have low platelets. This blue one, hemoglobin A1C, is a little bit of a tricky question because hemoglobin A1C measures your blood sugar. And so for some of our patients, they do monitor that, but that is likely for diabetes or pre-diabetes, something like that, and less so for their Castleman disease. Hemoglobin in and of itself, without the A1C, is a measure of anemia, and that is something that we measure for Castleman disease. So good job, everybody, in getting the 4 of them. We'll see what our scores are coming through. Patient G coming back. Paolo up 21 places. That is a very high climb. Very nice. We have Vicky H
Nice.
and McGill rounding out our top 3. It is very close at the top 3. So this is anyone's game at this point.
This is anyone's game.
Right? There we go. Question 4, another multi-select. What sorts of related conditions must be ruled out before rendering a Castleman disease diagnosis? As a multi-select, you can select 1, you can select 4. Make sure to also click that submit button. But in the red, we have infection, blue heart disease, Marillion autoimmune diseases, or green malignant cancers. So we'll give you just a couple more seconds to answer this question. You guys are so fast though. Oh, did I hear a question? Yes, your question?
Yes, I'm actually in a Zoom meeting. Can I call you back in a little bit? Okay, thanks. Bye.
Perfect. So let's talk about this image right here. This is an image that came out of one of our earlier papers. I believe this is diagnostic criteria. And so for a lot of our patients, there are 3 big conditions that have to be ruled out before rendering their Castleman diagnosis because they are mimickers. And it's our blue are autoimmune diseases. Our red, we have our malignant cancer type diseases. And then in green are infections. So we show this slide every year at Summit. And so we decided to ask about this slide because it is something that's really important, especially for our patients who are newly diagnosed. So you all did fantastic with this one. Very nice. Heart disease is not something that has to be ruled out before rendering that Castleman disease diagnosis. All right. Tough round. 3 players lost their answer streak of 3, but that's all right. Y'all can come back. Vicky H has climbed up to first place. And I believe Stacy jumped into the top 3. Very nice. Well, about halfway through, this is question 5. This is also a multi-select. Apparently, I put them all in a row. So how can Castleman disease patients and loved ones take action against Castleman disease or for Castleman disease?
None of
In
you
our
should get
red,
this wrong.
Maleva has high expectations. High expectations for this question. So red, we have our donate samples, our Marillion Joint Accelerate, our patient registry, our natural history registry. Our blue, tell your doctor about the CDCN, and then green, donate funds. In our photo, I believe this was 2019 Summit,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So our 2019 Summit, hopefully next year we'll all be back at Penn.
I'm so proud of you guys. Look.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Round of applause for you all. Straight across the board, fantastic. But hopefully next year we'll be back at Penn and then we can take a group photo like this once again and have everyone together and have that warrior flex come through. Beautiful. All right, halfway through, our top 3 stayed very strong. D. Fournier, a streak with 5 correct answers in a row. Okay, very nice. Correct answers, we like to hear that. Another multi-select, I really put them all in a row apparently. How is Castleman disease diagnosed? Select all that apply. We have red, laboratory abnormalities, blue, lymph node biopsy results, Marillion, exclusion of other diagnoses, hint, hint from a previous question, or green, DNA tests with our lovely Castleman warrior. We did get a question earlier, David, about the history of our Castleman warrior mascot and when it came to be. Now, I don't know if you have an answer because I don't remember the date or when that came.
Well, yeah, I mean, the first one was a stick figure Castleman that we started using in 2012, right, when we started the CDCN. And then we had a webinar with a bunch of patients, probably in 2013, where the decision was that we needed a better Castleman warrior. So we went back to the drawing board. I'd say by 2013, 2014 was when this new guy showed up. And he was a sketch at first, and then we cleaned up his edges, and now he's like a nice graphic.
He's beefed up. He's made permanent marks on some of our Castleman warriors' bodies, got some tattoos, got all over the place. He's a great mascot.
I'm glad that David commented, because he was the first person who took what was a sketch drawing and turned it into a tattoo. And David, I don't know if you can, if we can spotlight you, and if you're able to pull your sleeves up to show off the very first Castleman tattoo. Can we spotlight you, David? Are you able to show
There
off?
he is.
Oh, you can't get the sleeves. You got the long sleeves on. It's too much.
There's a long sleeve on.
All right.
Oh, no.
Well, maybe by the end of today, David, you can like do some sort of
Great.
overall over
We'll
the
come
shoulder
back.
or something, so we can see the tattoo.
We'll cycle back for that. But yeah, so our Castleman warrior has been with us for many years, and it's been a great mascot for us. But great job on this question as well. Castleman disease is diagnosed with laboratory abnormalities, lymph node biopsy results, and exclusion of other diagnoses. It's a whole constellation of things. We don't have a DNA test right now that shows that if you have something like that, you definitely have Castleman disease. We are working towards finding other ways to get more definitive diagnoses for our patients. So good job, everybody. Let's see our scoreboard. Vicky staying strong up top. Stacy and Millette coming in. 19 players have reached answer streak 3. So that's about, I think we have about 40 patients, so 40 people on here. So that's about half. Y'all are doing just great. We have 3 more questions. Question 7 being, what is or are the objectives of Accelerate? Accelerate being our natural history registry for patients. And in the red, inventory types and locations of clinical tissue samples for research. Blue, define clinical features and biomarkers to inform diagnostic criteria. Marillion, collect real-world demographic, clinical, and laboratory data. And green, inventory treatments and assess their effectiveness and safety profiles. We're going to give you a couple more seconds to answer this. I read faster than I thought I would, given by the 30 seconds left on our timer. So go team. Our image here is our visual abstract that we submitted for our first Accelerate paper that came out at the end of last year in December 2020. Really showing the uniqueness of our Accelerate Natural History Registry and showing other rare disease organizations and really the world how you can get good patient data from rare diseases and have it all work together to find things to help patients. Beautiful. So you guys are actually really great across the board. All 4 of these are objectives of Accelerate. We want to inventory the types and locations of clinical tissue. Criswell will request those tissue samples for research. We have our clinical features and biomarkers that really help define diagnostic criteria and our papers moving forward. We collect our demographic, clinical, and laboratory data, and we have data analysts with Mateo and Russell who go through line by line and pull that data out. So we have it in our registry. And then we also look at treatments and assess effectiveness, and safety profiles to be able to turn around good treatment guidelines for you guys so we can make sure you guys are on safe and effective treatments. Beautiful. So 2 questions left. And Millette coming on top with 18,000 points. I think these numbers are arbitrary. I don't know how they got here, but 8 players hit an answer streak of 6. So
And Castleman is climbing those charts there.
You're right. Castlebaum coming in, sneaking in at 4th place. He's real close here. About 150 off from 3rd place. Y'all be careful. Question 8. What can patients and loved ones do to cope with Castleman disease? Select all that apply. So our red, maintain healthy lifestyle habits. Our blue, take time for yourself. Our marillion, share your story. And green, join support groups. These answers are also not exhaustive, as you will see with our image. There are lots of other ways that we can self-care and that we can cope with CD and also just cope with life in general. These are also really important given the world that we've lived in for the last year. And so making sure that we care for each other and care for ourselves. So yeah, exactly. So we want to maintain these healthy lifestyle habits, take time for yourself, share your story, join support groups. We want to make sure you're not alone. We want to make sure that you know that you have a community here with us at the CDCN and with other Castleman disease patients and warriors. So there's lots of resources. Maleva talked about them just before, so we should be good to go. All right. We teased Castlebaum too much. He went down to 5th place. Seems intentional. But Millette coming up, keeping her 1st place, or his 1st place, not quite sure. But up 5 places, Katie with a heart is our highest climber at this question. All right, guys, we're coming down to the final 2. Question 9. Which of the following is a first-line treatment for idiopathic multicentric Castleman disease? Is it red, sirolimus, blue, steroids, marillion, siltuximab, or green, rituximab? I'm going to stress first-line treatment. Oh, you guys are so fast. If all of you answered before the time limit, it stops us. So exactly. Marillion, siltuximab is first-line treatment for idiopathic multicentric Castleman disease. It is also the only FDA-approved drug for Castleman disease right now. And Sylvant is the brand name, and it's designed to target interleukin-6 that helps prevent from causing a cytokine storm. This image comes from our partners who make Sylvant. So very nice, everyone. And then let's see, Vicky H climbing back up. Everyone else keeping a strong hold. 7 players have reached that answer streak 8. All right, we'll do one more question in the interest of time. Question 10, which of the following is true about oligocentric or regional Castleman disease? So oligocentral regional Castleman disease, is it red, surgical excision is always avoided? Blue, all patients present with no symptoms and normal lab tests, just like our UCD patients. Is it marillion, all patients present with inflammatory symptoms, much like our IMCD patients? or green, patients have several lymph nodes in the same region or area. Y'all are so fast. Exactly. It is our green. Patients have several lymph nodes in the same region and area. Sheila talked about this yesterday during her talk, but we are looking into really what this oligocentric regional CD is, because we realize it's not just UCD and not just MCD. There is a spectrum in between, and we want to make sure that we care and look for these patients in the middle as well and get them the care that they need. Perfect. So we'll go next. That is our question 10. So we'll end our quiz now. We'll get a nice podium here. So round of applause. Stacy coming in with 22,000 points. Vicky, number 2 with 22,000. And then Millette coming in also with 22,000 points, but with 8 out of 10 questions correct. Patient G and Castleman being our runner-up. So if the 3 of you can send Maleva an email at maleva@castlemannetwork.org, she'll be able to give you all the information you need to collect your prizes. Thank you everyone for playing our game today. There are more questions. We'll release those answers as well so that you guys can have all of that. But thanks so much. I'll turn it back over to Maleva so we can end our patient summit, unfortunately.
Awesome. Thanks, Johnson. We're actually going to turn it over to David.
Yeah.
Who's going to share screen, and we're going to go through the best part, maybe not the best part, the fun part of some awards.
Yeah, thanks, Johnson. I always look forward to our annual game that Johnson hosts. That was fun as always. Love the images this year. That was a nice new touch. So this truly is, I said this at the end of the day yesterday, but this is one of my favorite parts of the annual summit, and summit is one of my favorite parts of the year. And it's where we get to highlight the winners of the Castleman Warrior Flex competition, and also the winners of the Castleman Warrior Patient of the Year and Loved One of the Year award. These are awards that are nominated by the community. We put out a link on social media, and many of you all nominated various Castleman's patients and loved ones. And it's just so cool that every year that the community nominates and votes on and help us to identify those people that we should recognize. But before we get to those 2 winners, we did want to highlight the winner of this year's Castleman Warrior Flex competition. We shared a number of awesome photos earlier this morning. We've been keeping an eye on social media, so thanks to everyone who posted. And if you haven't posted your Warrior Flex to social media, I hope that you will. Even though, of course, the competition's over, I think it's just a great way to keep raising awareness for Castleman. So without further ado, the top 3 finalists of the Castleman Warrior Flex competition, David Underwood. So David, actually, you can still show the tattoo live with us.
Well done, David.
Yes,
if you're able to. It doesn't look like it's easy to show the tattoo, but at least we've got a photo. This is a Castleman Warrior Flex. We were very impressed. So David is one of the 3 finalists for the Warrior Flex. And actually, as we said earlier, that is the original, that is the oldest Castleman Warrior tattoo on the planet. That was the original one. And then Debbie came in with another great Castleman Warrior Flex. I have to say that those, it's the flex, it's the face, and it's also the tubes. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say that those tubes of blood are like the ultimate. You score a lot of points with our team when you show us tubes of blood.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is great. And then the third one, Frances came in with just an incredible, brought almost the whole family in with all of her little ones, even her youngest, who's Frances. How old is your youngest doing that Warrior Flex right there?
She's 4 months.
4-month-old already doing the Warrior Flex. I mean, we just love these pictures. And as I said earlier this morning, I also love the intensity in your 3 older kids in their faces. They are like,
yeah, they get into it.
They're really getting into it. It is awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so these are our 3 finalists for the Castleman Warrior Flex competition. And without further ado, I feel like this is like America's Funniest Home Videos, and we're about to announce the big prize winner.
You don't win $10,000 though.
That's not $10,000, unfortunately. But we can promise things like 10,000 hugs and things like that. But I think that we do also have a prize beyond 10,000 hugs that Mileva can share with you. But the winner of this year's Warrior Flex is Debbie. Debbie won the Warrior Flex.
Oh my gosh!
Way to go.
Thank you.
Debbie, you're live on international Zoom. Do you have anything that you want to say now that you won the Warrior Flex competition?
Well, I'm pretty thrilled, but I want to say thank you to you because you are my hero, David. You really are, because I feel like I probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for you and for the whole team. And I can't thank you guys enough for everything that you do. Love you all.
Thank you, Debbie. Well, we were so sorry to hear about your diagnosis during the beginning of the pandemic, but so glad that you've been doing so well since your diagnosis, and we so appreciate all that you've contributed, and can't wait for this pandemic to be over so we can all get together in person and spend time together.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I can't wait to meet you guys in person as well.
Yeah, congratulations again. Awesome work, and congrats to everyone, the dozens of people who posted, and all 3 finalists. It's awesome. Nice. All right. Well, so now I think, Mileva, I can't remember the exact order. Are you up next or am I up next? I think you're up next.
Yeah, I'm up next.
All right. So now we're on to the Castleman Warrior Loved One of the Year Award. Mileva, if you'd like to take us away.
Sure. I love this award because, well, this is something we say in the military, but behind every good soldier is the spouse who's standing there fighting alongside them. That is so true in this instance. Behind all of our amazing patients, there is a loved one who is standing next to them, advocating for them, supporting them, loving them through this, experiencing all of the hardships that come with this. And so I love this award because it really allows us to take a second and just thank our loved ones, thank them for going above and beyond what they need to do just for their loved one, but for the community in general. So it is my pleasure to announce this year's Castleman Warrior Loved One of the Year Award to Emma Begley, Dave Begley's wife. I am so happy and proud of you. I have to say that your husband, Dave, has had quite the go of it. You and I have chatted on multiple occasions. I know the pain, the fear, all the things that you were experiencing. You took that not just for your husband, but for the whole community. You have been there to help support and rally everybody that needed it. You guys are such a wonderful presence. Your husband, I truly believe, would not be here if it wasn't for your fierceness in helping support him, and also just showing our community that advocating is so important and such a special way to support them. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy to award this to you. I wish that you were on this continent and we could be in person, because I would love to hug you guys. Dave, we're also super proud that you can share your wife with us. It's just so wonderful.
Thank you.
That she is here.
Ruined the anniversary, right?
No.
I'm sorry for ruining the anniversary, or maybe it's
Oh,
not.
it's fine.
We get to have you. I'd love to give you a minute just to say hi and say anything you want, but congratulations.
Thanks. I can't believe it.
She was in total shock.
Yeah. I don't know. It was hard. It's been really hard because you have to keep on top of things, and it sort of takes over your life. I was reading up till 4 a.m. The kids, he was in hospital. I could see him getting worse. I was frightened my kids were going to lose their dad. It was just horrific. And the only thing I can say is that anybody who's with someone who's with Castleman's, it is really, really tough. But if you're strong enough, in the beginning, they told him he had 5 years maximum to live when we first found out. Most people would come out of there crying, not die. No, he comes out and he says, oh, well, I've had my expiry date. And I looked at him and I said, well, I think the reason you've got this disease is because we're strong enough to get through it. You're just going to keep fighting and argue with the doctors or whatever it takes, because if it weren't for me fighting, then I would have lost him last time, definitely. And I stuck to my guns. And luckily, because he wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
And even his doctor now says to me, yeah, you're right. too many doctors get involved with this disease because it affects different parts of the body. Instead of one overall doctor looking at it all, or them discussing it, that's what they don't do here. So one doctor was coming to see him, dealing with one thing, another doctor
One
for
for the
something
kidneys,
else.
one for the liver.
But nobody was overlooking it all together and putting the links together, and I was having to do that myself in the house and then ring his doctor and tell him.
Yeah. I'm not speaking for your husband, but I will tell you, on all the conversations he and I have had, one thing has rung true, and that is that you are amazing. And he has sung you praises over and over and over again. And I just could not be more proud of you. I know how hard it is to advocate and how hard it is to fight for the person that you love. And you have done it with such grace. And so I'm just so proud of you.
Do it with grace.
You might not think you're doing it with grace.
Doctors hate me.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Your husband is here because you are fiercely fighting alongside him. And you are just a amazing example of what that is to be that advocate. And literally the definition of a Castleman warrior loved one. So
even his family, I had to argue with them. His mother said to me, "You need to stop reading things." And I said, well, it's the only way I'm going to find out, because those doctors aren't telling me nothing. And the more I was reading, the more I was discovering, and the more I was flipping. And even she says now, "You saved his life."
My mother loves it. Loves it a bit. I was in the middle of a blood transfusion and they came in, unplugged me. I said, "What's going on?" "Your wife's here. Your wife's spoken to your consultant." I thought, oh my God, what's she done now?
Yeah, because he told me beforehand, "Don't you dare mention anything, because if they stop my treatment because of you, I'm dead." I said, "If you have that treatment, you're dead." So when he went for I phoned them and I won.
And she saved me. So I owe her that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, well, we're proud of you. And we just wanted to be able to do something to say we recognize how fierce you are. And you guys are both fighters, but behind your wonderful fighting husband is you. And so we're honored to honor you this year.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So well deserved. It's amazing, and throughout Dave's journey to see, Emma, how you've been fighting. And I think that Maleva would agree with me that it's not so much behind or even beside. It's like you've kind of been leading the charge in many ways, Emma, and helping Dave, certainly by his side. So it's awesome. And
I've had to stay awake so many nights watching him breathe, just to make sure, because he was in such a bad state and the doctors didn't seem to be doing nothing. And I want to thank you, both of you, because if it weren't for you two, when I spoke to you, because it was at the end, really, I just didn't know what to do. And I knew whatever advice you two would give me, that's what I would go with. And thank you very much.
And that's what happened.
Confirmed what I'd been reading. And
my doctor got hold of you because I told him to. And well, if he hadn't, I'd have died. Because they screwed me up the first time, didn't they? So they listened this time, and now he's got Andy Dodson with him as well now.
Good.
And I think they got a unicentric Castleman's patient with them as well, which has just joined my UK page, I think.
Wonderful.
So I think Singleton Hospital in Swansea is going to start getting busy.
Yeah.
Because he seems to he knows a lot now, and yeah, I'm happy with him now, really happy.
Because he checks.
He checks with you first.
Because I ask for copies of his blood test results every month.
Good.
And I keep an eye on them.
I
thank you very much, David.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
No, I'm always here for you guys. And I think that Emma and Dave, you guys you're just such a great example to the rest of our community of this team. And we talk about it's loved ones, so it's spouses, it's parents, it's children, it's grandparents, it's really, but I think that this is just such a great example. So congrats again.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. We're now to our last Castleman Warrior of the Year award. And by the way, we have these really cool trophies that we'll be sending out to the Castleman Warrior of the Year awards. Yep, it looks just like that. Mileva was I believe the very first loved one that was ever awarded this, and so now Mileva will be the one sending it out. It's really a big honor within our community. So now for the last one, and an award that really it means so much in this community because all of our patients are deserving of awards. Every single person who's on this call deserves to be recognized. Of course, we can only recognize one person a year, but it really is super special. And it's going to a really special person. This is someone who had a really tough early battle with her Castleman disease. And despite the challenges, has always maintained the most incredibly positive attitude, really stands out as just this person who, no matter what the challenges are, and you'll often see on social media that no matter what someone's going through, she will post that, it's going to be okay. The doctors are working on this, the researchers are working on this, like it's going to be okay. And her positivity is so important, and it's really it's so special. And I think that there are many people who probably already know who I'm going to mention just because of how positive she is. But Yankee is really yeah. And I see her looking very surprised, but Yankee has been such a source of strength to our whole community. She's so positive. As I mentioned, she had a really tough early battle with Castleman disease. She got on the right drug, saw the right doctor, and she has just become such an incredible person within our community, and even actually beyond Castleman disease. Yankee is on the Alabama advisory board for rare diseases. She advocates for other patients with other rare diseases, and she's just such a bright light in our community. So Yankee, congratulations on being this year's Castleman Warrior Patient of the Year Award winner. And if you have anything that you want to share, we'd love to hear from you.
Wow, I'm super surprised. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will do my best to, I always say, we have to be treasured that we are Castleman, warrior, and we will change the world to help other rare disease, and to communicate. We will fight because we love our life, we love our earth, we are happy people, and we fight.
Yes.
And live better. And
Yeah.
we need the help for the community. No matter what, worse or good, we just forward it. We're not backward, we forward it. And
Yep.
we need to be strong spirit, positive.
Well, you embody that, Yankee, and it's no matter what you were going through. I mean, I even remember in your early days with your diagnosis, it's like you were really going through a tough route, and you always had this huge smile. And it's like, where is she finding this smile? It's like she is really struggling internally, but you find the strength to smile. And then I think what, and as you guys know, this is the community nominates different members, but I think what really set you apart for the nominating committee was that you're not just focused on maintaining a positive outlook for yourself. You're focused on really spreading that positive outlook to other patients too. So we so adore you and so appreciate all that you do for the community, Yankee.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you. I will do my best.
Good. Well, thank you so much. So those trophies will be in the mail. Mileva, any comments or that you want to share at this stage?
I just to Yankee, you know how much I love you. We have talked so many times and connected so many times over social media, and I will tell you that it tickles me immensely when I go on social media to see and catch up and make comment to people who are responding, to see that you literally take the time to comment to every single person. You make sure that you see a post and you're like, oh, you're having a hard day, I'm here for you. You are always there to support everybody. And so I know you've heard me call you this, you're my favorite cheerleader. You truly are. You are behind in front of every single person, just constantly reminding them that they're not alone in this. And I know, because I do this with my own daughter, that's not always an easy job. And so you do it with such grace, with such poise, and always a smile, even though I'm sure at moments in your own life that things have been hard. And so kudos to you. I think our whole community recognizes that. It clearly, you had many people who've recognized this and wanted to make sure that you got this year. And so I'm proud of you. I'm happy to know you. And I'm just so excited that you are with us on this team and got to have this award this year.
Oh, thank you, Yankee. Well, I love it. I think that this year's award winners, like each of the winners for the last 5 years, are just really special people. And like I said before, every single person on this call deserves to be recognized. And so, every year we only select one, but it really it's amazing what all of you guys do and how you support one another, and what you do to help one another, not just yourselves. It's amazing. So I think that gets us to the very end of the program, Maleva. I will stop sharing my screen now. And I think that the plan now is to share a few sort of closing remarks from our end, but we also would like to give the opportunity for anyone who has any questions or comments. Feel free to throw them into the chat and we could try to address them before we close up. We want to close as close to 2 o'clock as we can, because we had told you guys that we would be closing up around 2 today. But of course, if anyone needs to drop off, you could drop off if we go a few minutes earlier or a few minutes over. But I think that my kind of closing, or Malev, does that sound good?
I was just going to say, I'm shocked with you that you did not do the one thing you always do. And I was waiting for it and it hasn't happened.
But if you had not reminded me about our Castleman Warrior Flex, I would have been so disappointed for the rest of the day. I am so happy you reminded me that we have to all do a picture together. So thank you for
You
that.
are well. I kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and yeah.
So as Maleva said, anyone who has their cameras currently turned off, if you could turn your camera on, we have to get a Castleman Flex in before we share our closing thoughts and before anyone jumps off. And you guys got some really good examples of Castleman Warrior Flexes from Frances and her family, from David, from Debbie, the Warrior Flex winner. So you guys know how it works, and it's like, it's in your face, it's flexing here. So okay, great. So I'm seeing we're getting flexes in already. I'm seeing more videos coming on. Let's give it another minute or another few seconds to get some more cameras on. Oh wow, this is great. So we'll give it a little bit longer for people to turn their cameras on so they can get in the flex.
You got to reposition too. I have to sit on my feet so I'm high enough.
Oh, I have been seeing some awesome flexes right now, guys. This is
I just want to say that for all of you who have asked if Rosie was going to be here, she's here. She's on camera. She came back to say hi to you guys. So I just wanted to make sure I called her out because I kept looking for her camera and then I finally saw her.
Hello. Oh, I was asked for. Oh.
You are loved.
I know. I see so many familiar faces. I tried my best to jump in as much as I could. But yeah, no, this was great. And I'm happy that I was able to just come back and see everyone and see familiar faces, and maybe next year in person, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Oh, I love it. So I see a lot of cameras on it, including Rosie. So we need a good Warrior Flex from Rosie and from the whole crew. All right. So we'll do like a 3, 2, 1 countdown and we'll try to get some screenshots. All right. All right. So it's like this. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, I got a lot of them. Go team, nice, I love it. Thanks guys so much. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that Maleva reminded me of that, because if we had stopped without doing a flex, I would have been so disappointed. But in kind of closing, just the remarks that I want to share is just that I so appreciate everyone who's taken the time to connect today, both people who are part of the CDCN and the center here at Penn, the Castle, people like Amber and Maleva, of course, who's put on so much time, Rosie's on, Johnson, Anya, members of our team who think about you guys all the time. I mean, we work the way we work because we care about you guys. We want to find solutions for all of you. And we work a lot of hours, and it's because we care so much. And so special thanks to the team at Penn and the CDCN, who are, calling in on a Saturday morning, but of course, who work a lot more than just, one Saturday morning, who literally dedicate their professional careers towards helping you guys. So big shout out and thank you to them. Maleva, Amber, Johnson, Anya, you guys have done an incredible job. And I know you guys saw that a large number of people from our team were on yesterday as well. And so big thank you to everyone from our team. And then, of course, a big thank you to all of you, our patient and loved one community who joined us yesterday and today. As I said before, we look forward to this all year long. And it's special to see people like I see Carol Kwok on video right now. I get an email with Carol periodically. I get to see Carol's posts on social media, but I don't get to ever see people like Carol. I know this isn't live, but it's as close as we can get to live in this world. And so just really special for me to see you guys. And I know it's special for our whole team. So thanks for making the time on a Friday and a Saturday, and especially those of you who are calling in at 3 a.m. your time in various parts of the world. Thanks so much for doing that. I think that we covered a lot of content between yesterday and today. We provided you guys with a lot of hyperlinks. We'll send another follow-up email with some more of those. I know that you also have them in your packets. Take the time to go back through each one of them, ask us questions if things don't make sense. I can guarantee you that if something doesn't make sense for you, it probably also doesn't make sense for someone else, and someone else is thinking the same thing. So make sure to ask us the question. We'll try to clarify it. We've got a lot of projects underway, a lot of studies that we're pushing forward, and we're just going to keep pushing with everything we've got. And we really have an incredible team and an incredible community. So as Maleva shared earlier today, let us know if you have any questions about ways that you might be able to get involved. There are a lot of ways that we think you can get involved, but there might be ways we haven't thought about that you might be able to help out. So do reach out to us. We so appreciate everything you guys do. And we've accomplished so much in the last 9 years, but we still have work ahead of us. We still do. And so as we think about our 10th year as an organization moving into next year, we're going to continue to rely on all of you. I remember seeing on a Facebook post once from a Castleman's patient that said, the CDCN gives me hope for a future. And I agree with that. I believe that. But the reality is that patients give the members of the CDCN hope about why we work so hard. So it goes two ways. You're hopeful for progress that we can make, and our community, our team has hope and tries to turn that hope into action by getting to know all of you and seeing how amazing you guys are. So big thank you to everyone. Maleva, what else would you share before we wrap up?
I will just say that I was so excited to see how many, well, this is going to sound wrong. I'm so excited to see how many new people we have. I know that means that you were then diagnosed with Castleman disease, but that was so special to me. I met so many new patients this year. Historically, if we were in person, you will know very quickly from me that I probably overhug. And so next year, hopefully, if we're in person, I will be able to hug all of you guys. I have said this 100 times over. We have one of the most amazing communities that is 100% in part because you guys are a part of it. And so without you, we would not have the wonderful organization that we have. And so I love that you guys attend. I love that you guys are so active. I love that you guys support each other, and you guys will make lifelong partners, advocates, friends in this group. And we on the CDCN side of it, and both, I know Dr. David's a patient and my daughter's also a patient. So we have a little bit of a really cool, unique situation that we're not just CDCN team members, but we're also on this side of it with you. We are here for you. Our role in this organization, yes, is to try to help find a cure for you, but we're also here to do this with you. And so this is literally my favorite 2 days of the year. I love being here with all of you. I love seeing your faces and catching up. I know it's never enough time, but I just want to thank all of you for being here and for giving us your 2 days, for asking all of the questions, for supporting each other. It's just so great to see all your faces. Kyla, I see that you're on off of school. So great that you're here. So wonderful to see that you're also on with us today. We got to talk with your mom yesterday, which has been wonderful. It's just, I hate hanging up because then I have to say bye to all of you, but it's just so wonderful to have you. I also want to thank David. We definitely could not do this without you. Your expertise, your knowledge, your ability to take the time out of your day and your family life to give every aspect of you to our community is 100% loved, appreciated, and amazing. So thank you so much for who you are. You make it very easy for all of us to do this and to be alongside of you. And then final thank you to the rest of our team. Summit on the back end is hard to do. We have such a great team who rallies around and make sure that every aspect of this is smooth. So while all of you guys are here attending, we're frantically in the background just making sure that nothing happens. And it's been such a wonderful 2 days. So thank you guys all for being here and for allowing us to provide this this experience for you guys. And hopefully next year I can annoy you all with my crazy hugs.
I can't wait, Maleva. So good to see everyone. Please do reach out. Thank you guys so much and have a great rest of your weekends.
Bye, guys.